Okay, what you need is one. You need a nylon brush. Okay, but and as an accessory, you might actually get a horsehair brush. Okay, and then if you really want to get spanky, then the third one is you get a brass brush. And they all have three different purposes. So, waxing the ski, the wax that you put on the skis, not like the old days. In the old days, putting wax on the ski was like putting WD-40 or grease on. It was actually the oily surface you were putting on that made the ski slide. Everything now is actually molecular structure, and all the waxes, what the wax actually does, the different temperatures, is the wax actually, the friction between the wax and the snow melts the snow and creates a layer of water. And then the structure in the ski moves the water off the ski. So the faster that the wax melts the snow to water and the better the structures in the ski, the faster the ski slides. So totally changed from when I was a kid. So the first thing we need to do before we wax the skis, we need to open up the structure. So to open up the structure, the best is actually the brass brush. But with a brass brush, and especially with the kids, it's brass. Only can go one way. Okay, so we only ever want to use the brass brush going tip to tail. We only want to move this way. And what happens is with the brass, because it's a stiffer material, it's actually not only cleaning out the pores, but the little fibers in the base, it's actually laying them down. So if someone's going the wrong way with it, they're actually going to be slowing the ski down. Now, a brass brush, if we were at a Super G race, the kids actually would spend like 20 minutes a ski simply using the brass brush to lay the fibers down and to clean the structure out, because that's what's going to give them the glide on the flats. Now, if you don't have a brass brush, you can simply use a nylon, and the nylon will actually clean the structure out as well. It just doesn't lay the fibers down. Both the nylon and the horsehair, you can go both ways, not a problem. Just always try and finish tip to tail. Horsehair is basically a cleanup. So the cleanup, it takes the last little bit of the debris and it moves it out of there.
So if you have a brass, can you go straight to the horsehair, or you go brass nylon horsehair?
Yeah, you can go either. So you can actually, I would usually go back to nylon again, but you can go from brass to horsehair, no problem.
So once you've laid the fibers down one direction,
yep,
the nylon brush won't undo that.
Doesn't seem to, no. That's according to manufacturers, doesn't seem to do a problem. Meaning at the top, the race course
out. Just stay in the same direction.
Yep, it seems to, yeah. Once you've laid them down with this, then it lays down. I'm sure they kind of work their way back up eventually, but going with this and then all of a sudden going to this one, it for some reason doesn't seem to be a problem. You watch the World Cup guys or the BC team guys, same thing. Brass brush is always the one way. This one, they'll actually work a section to try and get some wax out, and then they'll finish it this way. So not as much in effect with the horsehair as there is with the brass. So now, all the wax manufacturers sell base cleaning material, liquid form, or spray material. Worst thing in the world. That's the first thing the wax rep tells you. Don't ever use it. Because what it does is actually, it works too well, it actually pulls all the wax out of the pores. And really the ski, listen to some World Cup cross-country guys talk about wax, and they need wax because they're sliding and working hard. And they basically never use a solvent on the base, and they have no problem with just keeping layers of wax. Like one guy actually talked about putting like 12 layers of wax on his ski, because when he's out on his race and he's out there for a couple of hours and the wax is wearing off, he's hoping that the wax way down deep in the pores is all of a sudden still coming. So try not to use a solvent. Use your brushes to clean the excess wax off and leave the other wax in the pores. And it doesn't matter if it's a different color. Having wax rather than no wax is usually good wax. If the base is dirty though and you need to clean it, what you can do is a method called hot scrape. So what you would do is just try and get your cheapest wax, so a big bulk wax of yellow or red. What you would do is you actually would melt the wax on, iron it in, and then before it actually dries, so just as it's starting to set up, scrape it. And what it does is the heat and everything pulls the dirt up into the wax. It's amazing in the spring. If you actually, after spring skiing, put wax on and then scrape off, you can't believe the amount of dirt that actually comes out of it. So if you got a dirty base, usually probably 2 hot scrapes will clean everything up so that all the dirt's out of there. All right, so waxing in general. Most of the new irons actually have a temperature control setting on it, and most of the waxes that you get actually say right on the package what temperature to melt the wax at. The big thing you want is you don't want to actually put the wax on the iron and have smoke coming off it, because it's just too hot and you're changing the complexity of the wax. So you want to basically be able to put the wax on the iron and have a nice steady smooth stream of wax coming off. Now, most of the irons are rounded tips, so I have no problem actually putting the iron like right on the side of the ski. You'll take the wax. Okay, so I take the wax and I actually put it right here, and I put this here, and I basically just zigzag back and forth all the way down. It seems to, if you actually drip it from a high above, you get these little dots on it, and they're sometimes hard to actually melt in, where I just leave a stripe down there. And then when I put the wax on, it seems to melt in pretty good and start smoothing around. Now, how much wax you put on, you basically just want to have a good coverage of wax. You put too much on, you end up scraping too much off. You put too little on, you don't cover all the spots on it. So it's something you have to do just by feel.
Actually, one quick question that came to mind when I was doing this last year was, can we damage the base for leaving the iron on too long?
That is the next thing, yes. You can, and I've actually, well, I didn't actually see it happen. We were actually tuning, and there was a dad and a son in the next room, and all of a sudden I just got the big, "Hey!" So leaving the wax, the iron on the base will actually separate the base